What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Absolutely April, here for another recap. We are talking about the Medicine Wives, Married to Medicine, the reunion part two. And I got some opinions, and I know y'all do too. But before we get into that, I want to thank everybody for tuning into my channel. I'm Absolutely April. If you're new to my channel, I do recaps on reality shows, TV shows, movies. I throw in some spirituality tips here and there. So it's a great time here. And if you are like me and like TV and reality shows and movies, all things like that, you might as well go ahead and join my community, join the tribe, and subscribe to my channel. Also, hit the like button if you're here so I can get thrown into that algorithm. And also, don't hesitate to share. Share with a friend. Sharing is caring, and hit the notification bell to be notified about all of my uploads when I upload them. And if you're returning, I appreciate your support and I thank you for always being down with me, commenting, everything. I so appreciate it and I love the interaction. So let's get into these medicine wives, like Funky Dineva likes to say, and let's just talk about it because this is getting deep. And you know what? This reunion, I have a lot of thoughts, and I would love to know if you all feel the same. So don't hesitate to comment down below on some of the things that I talk about. Now I'm not going to go into the recapping. He's what she said, what he said, nothing like that. I'm just going to kind of talk about some of the themes that showed up in this reunion. So first, it starts out with Anila is still being questioned about the robbery, and she's asking if Toya had anything to do. No, what Andy asked, does she think that Toya had anything to do with the robbery? And she's she hesitates for a while and then says no. I think she says no. I don't think she feels like that. I think she feels like Toya, if she didn't have anything to do with it, she definitely thinks Toya knows something about it. And that's why she hesitated, because I think that she, in her heart of hearts, that's what she believes. But I think Dr. Heaven has drilled in her head, like, that's not a road you want to go down, to be accusing people. So you may not want to go down that road. So I think that's why she's kind of like thinking it through, like this could end bad for her if it doesn't. So she's just going to say no. But I don't think she feels like that. And if I was Anila, honestly, getting a little lotion for my hands. If I was Anila, I probably wouldn't believe it either. So I don't know. I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you think Toy had anything to do with it? The only thing I just say, and I don't have a dog in this fight at all, but I'm not team anyone. But it's just like, to me, if Carrie, first of all, this is the events that has taken place. Toya clearly brought Carmisha into Quad's party to have an issue with Anila. So they get into it. Carmisha and Anila get into it. And then 2 days later, I don't know how many days later, but then Carrie tells Anila and some of the other ladies that, hey, Toya told me that Anila has a hit out on her, allegedly. So Carrie says this, and then 2 days later, Anila's house gets robbed. So it's kind of like, it's just really, really suspect. I don't know if Toya had anything. I don't know if it was just a coincidence. I don't know if Toya was talking out the side of her neck. We don't know, because Carrie wasn't at the reunion, so we don't know Carrie line. We just don't really know what is really going on. And to me, is very shady. And I hope Anila has a great private investigator, because, baby, something in the milk ain't right. Something is really, really smelly in this milk. It's kind of sour, if you tell me. Like, it's too many coincidences to, really sleep well at night. And if the shoes were reversed, if that was happening to Toya would feel the same way. So she really can't blame Anila, but for feeling like that. And at the same time, I get, the fact that you just don't want to go around accusing people if you don't have proof. So Anila walks a fine line, and I think she did it the right way. However, she just did, to me, she was not convincing. So let's move on. So now they talk about, the importance of having a Black doctor, and they speak of Serena when Serena had a pulmonary embolism, and the doctor didn't believe her. Now this is Serena Effin Williams, you know what I'm saying? And the doctor didn't even take Serena Williams. How she felt, what was going on in her body into consideration, and she could have died. She's had a pulmonary embolism before, and so when she told the doctor, like, I'm once you have something like that, a clot, you're predisposed to having more clots. Check out my medical information, my medical, I think I was a doctor in another life. But anyways, so she had a pulmonary embolism, which is a clot in the lungs. So once you've had one of that before, you're predisposed to having more clots. So she kind of knew what was going on in her body, and she informed her doctor, what she felt like was going on. It kind of felt reminiscent to when she had it before, and they did not believe her, and she ended up having one and could have died. So that they talk about the importance of having Black doctors because of cultural biases, and just being able to be believed. A lot of times, physicians feel, not all, some physicians may feel like, we are over exaggerating. Like, for instance, if I'm crying and you see another white lady crying, people would probably go towards the white person who's crying over the Black person. That's just what happens. You see it in corporate America all the time. I've seen it in my, where I've worked, and it's something that we deal with on a daily basis, that my trauma and my pain is not the same as if a white woman's trauma or pain. And it can go unnoticed, and it can go like, thrown to the side, like, oh, she's just over exaggerating. Not really sure why it's like that, but it is. And I know for me, I have to be cognizant of it, and it's just something that you just know about, as as a person of color. And it's unfortunate, and hopefully we can get to a better place. But the doctors talk about that, because we have one of the highest rate of having infant mortality, and us, Black women dying in childbirth. So it's no bueno, and I just don't. I hope those rates can go up, because that's just something that I hate to hear, about, but that's why it's good to have doctors who look like you, so that they know the statistics and they know how to treat you better. Quick story time. I mean, I've been dealing with anemia for a long time, and I also have fibroids. And I went to a OBGYN who was not of my same culture. She suggested I just get a hysterectomy. So that's just one thing, like, to trump all the other ways to deal with heavy menstrual cycles. You just went straight for the hysterectomy, and that's just not always the case. And so that's just one example of the importance of having Black doctors. So moving on. So they talk about, Dr. Jackie talks about Audra being pregnant, and she's Audra's doctor. And, I wonder how Simone feels about, Audra choosing Dr. Jackie as her physician. I low key, I think that Simone feels some type of way about, everybody likes to go to Dr. Jackie. They ask for Dr. Jackie's expertise a lot. And it's kind of like, does she feel a little slighted in some ways? Does she feel kind of bad about that? I don't know. it would be interesting to see, to know that. So, Audra is like 38, 39 weeks pregnant. So she's almost ready to give birth. And, Dr. Jackie says she hasn't been having any complications, which is a great thing because, ooh, complications when you're pregnant is, whew, that's not what you want. I didn't have any complications until towards the end of my pregnancy. And that was like, I had preeclampsia. And thank God I had a Black midwife who was like, okay, we're not playing with this. We're going to go ahead and take care of it. So I was, thank God for that. So Anila is also questioned to talk because they were talking about her having procedures. Dr. Karen gives her Botox and fillers and stuff. So so Andy asked Anila if she thinks that Quad has had work done, and she said no comment. Now Quad said, I ain't had no work done. What you mean no comment? So she, you know how Quad is, but they say, most people, I don't think that Quad had work done. Black sometimes don't crack. Sometimes. So it's just like, I think Quad takes very good care of herself. Now, did she have a filler here and there? Maybe. I don't know. But I guess, I think Quad is naturally a pretty woman, and she has, if you look at her mom, looks very young for her age. So I think that she just has good genetics. That's what we're gonna go with. They also talk about Roe versus Wade, and that was a great discussion on, when, now that it's overturned, the importance of the need for it, because sometimes there is instances where, babies have, some really serious birth defects and anomalies, and and they may not survive on the outside, and they may need to be, have a medical type intervention. The A word. So that's one of the things that the ladies talk about, and they want to, they see that, it's important to vote, those type of things. They, the right people in to make sure that, women have the ability to take care of, their own bodies, make decisions about their own health and their own bodies. So a lot of the doctors believe, like, government should not get in the middle of what a woman should do with her body. It should be her choice. So they talked about that. That was a nice little good, a good discussion to have, especially in this climate. We are coming up to elections for, a lot of the gubernatorial candidates. So it's a good time to, really find out what these officials are, what their stance on is that, and you should vote towards what is in alignment with your beliefs and what makes you be able to sleep at night. So the men arrive, and they got their nice little clothes and their shoes. Dr. Eugene showed his little, look like Louboutins, I believe, and it has spikes on the end. So Dr. Eugene. I mean, we always talk about, Eugene, we feel so bad for Eugene, but I think Eugene and Toya like the finer things in life, and they both are not the best at managing money. So, so that's what I'm going to say about them. So they get into Toya's marital issues and the relationship rumors and her cheating and everything. So this is where, it was a lot of back and forth and tussling, even to the point where Toya, kind of started crying about it. And I feel like, they talked about, who started the rumors, who did this. And it came out that, Quad says that Heavenly, was told by Simone that it wasn't the fact that she was cheating. It was, it wasn't anyone in the neighborhood. It was someone else. So they had the wrong guy. So they really didn't get into that really deep, like they probably should have. I don't know why Andy didn't touch on it, but it was definitely something that came from Simone. They did not really go in and question heavily, was it true or not? Simone said it wasn't true. I believe it's true. She definitely did tell tell Quad, tell Heavenly that, and Heavenly told Quad. Now Quad ends up, apologizing. She said, yes, I did perpetuate the rumors because I was hurt. I was hurt at all the rumors about her sleeping with married men and all that stuff. So she said she definitely wanted to hurt Toya in the way that she felt hurt. Now, was it right? Does two wrongs make a right? No, but that's why she apologized to Toya. However, she did say, that, Anila, was on the phone with the Zaina lady, and they were talking about it in the neighborhood. So Anila was like, nah, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. And she's like, I did not originate the rumors. Maybe you didn't originate it, but you definitely did talk about it, and you did perpetuate it, and you did bring Zaina in to talk about, to break up the rumor. And we saw that on the I think did they show that on the last episode? They showed that on the last episode before the reunion, the finale, and that she wanted Zaina to bring up the rumors. So Anila, your hands are not clean at all. Now, is all fair in love and war? Her and Toya were not seeing eye to eye, and Toya was being very mean to Anila. So should she care about Toya's feelings? Should she care about Toya's marriage? I don't know. I feel like, sometimes you should have a line in the sand. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and mess up this lady's marriage, but, I probably would keep it in my back pocket if I needed to use it. But I probably wouldn't have just brought it out like that. The way it was brought out on TV. I would have just kept the fight between me and Toya, not bring in the family type dynamic. Quad did apologize, and she, for her part in it. And Toya said she felt lonely. She said, she has been there for ladies when they had their cheating rumors, like Dr. Jackie and Curtis, and she said that Dr. Jackie did not do the same in return. So Dr. Jackie said, you know what, I wouldn't, talk about that. I just wouldn't call her up and say, hey, what's going on with your marriage? But, Andy was like, could you have checked on her? And she was like, yeah, I probably could have checked on her. But truth be told, a long time ago when she was on the Housewives, these are her coworkers. And a lot of times, it's some coworkers you cool with at work, but you don't really go outside of work and talk to them. And maybe that's the relationship Dr. Jackie has with Toya. And like, look, I don't want you to, I don't wish no bad on you, but I'm not gonna call you and kiki on the phone. I'm not gonna call you and see what's going on and how you're doing. Does Toya call Dr. Jackie? Probably not. So the pendulum swings both ways. So why should I overextend myself to find out what's going on with Toya when she don't call and find out what's going on with me? She the one that got time on her hands. She don't work. I work. I be on call. So why should I always, the Bible always says if you are wanting friends, you should show yourself friendly. They showed a package where Toya wasn't, so nice and forgiving when Curtis cheated on Dr. Jackie. She kind of poked at Dr. Jackie and said it was her fault. So why would I then, call you about your marriage? It just should not. I don't understand that. And if I was Dr. Jackie, I would have said, Dr. Jackie, she just kind of dead at this whole situation. You're right. I probably could have called. But at the same time, I wish Dr. Jackie would just say, like, we're not cool like that. I mean, I don't have a problem with you, but I'm not going to just call you and see about you. And, we're not in that space. You got Simone for that. That's your girl. So let Simone check on you. So that's the thing. That's how I would feel. And maybe maybe I have some growing to do in that area, but I'm just not going to always overextend myself for someone who doesn't do it for me. It just doesn't make sense in my opinion. So comment down below. Maybe I'm wrong. What do y'all think about that? Do you think Dr. Jackie should have called and checked on her like that? If they're not friends, real friends, I don't see. If it was Heavenly, or I don't even know if it was Simone, but if it was Heavenly, I think Dr. Jackie would have checked on her. I really honestly feel like Dr. Jackie is closer to Heavenly than Simone. I think she tolerates Simone. I don't think she is as close to Simone as they like to put on during the season. I think she just does that so Simone can shut the hell up, basically. But I feel like all in all, her and Heavenly are better friends. And she probably would have checked on Heavenly if there was something swirling around about Heavenly and Dr. Damon. So that's how I feel about it. And, Quad defends, the rumor. She, like I said, she said that it really said Simone solidified, yes, she is cheating. They just had the man wrong, who the man was. And I did a review about that because Bunky Dineva also confirmed it that Simone had been talking, and she's close to Toya. So it's, allegedly, allegedly Simone said this. And so I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know if it's true or not. And maybe that's something that Toya and Eugene have dealt with, privately. And now that it's out, it's public fodder. However, I'm almost about, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I'm almost willing to believe that, Toya may have, did the do, and maybe she regretted it. And now that it's out there, it's just making things worse. But I don't know. Hell, Dr. Eugene seems like he is ride or die. So even if Toya did have this indiscretion, they probably were going to talk about it and they probably were going to have issues with it. But at the end of the day, they're going to stay down for each other. And they also talked about Toya kind of cried, started crying about her and Eugene. They are a little bit better, but not where they should be. And Simone kind of jumped in and said, he's doing, I wish Simone wouldn't have jumped in. I think she was trying to smooth it over before Toya would say anything out of the way. But I feel like Toya should, be able to speak her truth. And if she doesn't feel like, Eugene, she still feels lonely in her relationship, she should also deal with that as well. And maybe that how Toya feels could, be helping someone else in their marriage. I feel like the way you can still see, when I look at Toya, I can still see sadness. I see hurt, and I see pain. There is definitely, it appears, it looks like, there could be some unhappiness in her marriage. And I hope that she can get the help that she needs, her and Eugene. It may be a thing of Dr. Eugene just getting comfortable. You know how you get comfortable in your relationships and you just don't put forth the effort like you always did. And it can't be easy being a doctor's wife because they're always on call. They are always helping someone else. So it could appear like they're putting their patients above their family. And so they do have to kind of sacrifice some of their lives and then, to help others. And I guess that's the thing, that the family, the women and the wives of doctors has to put up with. I wish they would kind of highlight that a little bit more on Married to Medicine, because it is Married to Medicine. And they can talk about how it is, feeling like, you're alone in a relationship because your husband is always on the front line, going to help others. And I wish they would talk about that a little bit more. And that could be the reason why, Toya is feeling lonely in her relationship. And I can definitely understand that. I can see that because that is hard. I mean, that's just probably like even army wise, or of people in the army, they're always going out, at the government's beck and call. So, so they always have to sacrifice their families or, not having their better halves with them. So, I don't know, it's a lot and I can't imagine. And my heart goes out to Toya with that. So moving on, so they go onto a break, and Quad and Anila still, they don't see eye to eye because, Anila is feeling like Quad, she didn't start it, and Quad is kind of like, yes, you did because you told me. So they tussling back and forth, going back and forth. So they go back to their trailer and they continue this argument. Like, no, you did tell me, and Anila's like, well, I didn't originate it. I thought Quad gets on the phone, so I'm like, oh, is she about to call Zaina? So she didn't call Zaina. She was just on the phone, I guess. But I felt like Anila, you have to take some you definitely have to take some ownership on this. You were involved. Dr. Heavenly even said she was on the phone when she heard Anila and the people from the neighborhood talking about it. So it's not like they didn't, it's the rumors are not out there, and it's not like you weren't involved, Anila. You were definitely involved, and you probably brought, because you're a part of the neighborhood, you roped in Quad and you roped in Dr. Heavenly to perpetuate the rumor. Just go ahead and say it is what it is. You did it. So there, Quad is still, she sounded like Quad telling Quad to be truthful, and Quad was like, I apologize. I said what I did. You need to say what you did. But Anila walks off. So Contessa and Heavenly, they end up going at it. I'm so tired of Contessa and Heavenly, so I can't even. I would not like arguing with someone like Contessa because she's just loud. Contessa is loud and she talks over people. And it's just like she is not good at shading. So instead of shading, she's just going to talk over you so no one else can hear what you're saying. And it's just like, that's so annoying to me. And it's so weak. Like, it's just so weak. Oh, because you can talk, but Heavenly just as loud. So it just sounds like it's just two loud people just talking. And I was like, that would just bother the hell out of me. So they talk, Heavenly still has the stance like, you dogged your husband in front of me and on the phone. Other people were witnesses to it, and you did not. And basically, you wanted. And so I just kind of said what I saw. Now, I've been following Dr. Heavenly's channel, and I said this before. Dr. Heavenly's, I've been following before I even started doing commentary. And Dr. Heavenly has always kind of held back when we're talking about Contessa. But the last season, Contessa was talking about her husband so much, she even came on Dr. Heavenly's show talking about her husband. And it was like, but girl, you came on the show talking about her husband. And Dr. Heavenly always showed restraint until this one time to she said, well, verbally, not physically, but verbally, emotionally. Even though, yeah, you don't want to say that because he's a doctor, but at the same time, if I'm just a viewer and I'm looking at it, I'm going to say the same thing. So it's kind of like what we were seeing. And then Contessa was saying, well, you were never my friend. Yes, y'all were. Y'all were friends. Don't try to minimize trying to win an argument. Like, I can't stand when people lie to win an argument. Like, that gets on my nerves. Like, let's talk about the facts. You all were friends. You may not be friends now, but you were friends. Y'all went on trips together. And you did put Heavenly in your business. They should have showed the flashback to her talk when they were in a room, when they were in that hotel room where Carrie heard them arguing. She brought Heavenly in there, and her and Heavenly and Scott were talking about their issues. So don't act like you did not rope Dr. Heavenly in prior times. You may not be doing it now, but you have done that before. We've seen it on the show. The footage shows it. So it's just kind of like, Contessa needs to take some ownership of what she has done and go ahead and say, yeah, I did bring you into my marriage and it was a mistake, and that's a mistake I will never make again. I will never bring a friend or someone I'm friendly with into my marriage. I'm not going to talk about my marriage like that on national TV. And Dr. Heavenly probably, that's the only thing Dr. Heavenly has been saying, like, if you're going to stay with your husband, whatever the reason you're staying with your husband, you don't bring it on national TV dogging him out. You did dog him out, Contessa. You did. I mean, so I don't know what else I can say about that. Now, should Heavenly have commented on it? Maybe not. She's apologized. And now we need to move forward. I mean, honestly, at this point, I feel like you should just move forward because this is just like, I feel like I'm on a hamster wheel with these two. They keep talking about the same stuff over and over and over again, and to the point where I don't even want to hear it no more. And it's kind of like I wish that other people would talk about, yes, Contessa, you did. Like I wish someone other than Heavenly would say that. And then, Simone says, that, you shouldn't talk about your friends. And this is where I have an issue. Or maybe this is what needs to be brought out. Who does Heavenly consider a friend? So if you're saying don't talk about your friends on social media, okay, who does Heavenly consider a friend? I know she considers Jackie a friend. She doesn't really talk about Dr. Jackie. Toy, I don't think she really considers Toya a friend. She says she doesn't have an issue with Toya, but I don't know if she considered Toya a friend. I think Dr. Heavenly is one of the people like, it's not too many people she's going to call her friend. And Contessa was one of the people that she did consider a friend, and she did try to refrain from talking about her as much. And so now she does, I mean, there's no whole bars because she's not friends with Dr. Contessa. So who does, if she shouldn't talk about her friends on social media, who does she consider a friend? That's the biggest thing. Like, who does she consider a friend? And then whoever she doesn't consider a friend, okay, well then just know that it might be open season on you when she feels like talking about you. And the one she does consider a friend, she can say to those people, like, I won't talk about you, or I won't say anything factual, that I don't know for sure, or, I'll keep my comments to a minimum. I'll just talk, if someone brings it up, I'll just say, X, Y, Z, or whatever. But if she doesn't care about the friendship, then why should she care about what she says on her channel? I feel like if she doesn't care about preserving the relationship, then why should she care about what she says on social media about them? In my opinion. But if they are your friends, then definitely you should kind of hold back to preserve their relationship. But if you don't consider them a friend, what's the big deal? So who does Dr. Heavenly consider a friend? Like that's where I would draw the line. Like if we are friends, then no, I won't talk about you. But if we're not friends, it is what it is. But that's just my opinion. So comment down below. Are you team Heavenly? Are you team Dr. Contessa? I mean, do you think Heavenly is wrong? She has apologized for what she said, but she also says that, Contessa shares some of the blame. And I believe she does. And Dr. Contessa does not take ownership of what she has done. And nobody is holding her feet to the fire. And I don't know if people scared of Contessa because they feel like Contessa going, try to fight them. I don't know, but I just feel like if people would just be honest on what Contessa did, and hold her feet to the fire like you make it Heavenly do, then I think it would be, it would seem a little bit more fair, in my opinion. And then Quad kept trying to talk to and reason to Heavenly, and Quad, I think Quad was just looking for a moment at this point. She, wanted to interject, and she was like, you can't be treating people like this, blah blah blah. And Heavenly was like you are talking to me. This would have been better than how they planned on doing an ambush against me. So that's how that whole thing happened. And they've talked about this, and they done beat this horse to death. I don't even want it. I hope next season they are not talking about this, because honestly, they need to drop Contessa down to a friend of, in my opinion. Drop her down to a friend of, take her down a peg or two. She's attacked Dr. Heavenly, or tried to attack Dr. Heavenly in her trailer. Like, she's not bringing the storylines. She's not that interesting to watch. Bump her down to a friend of and keep it moving. Let's see. and bring Audrey as a medicine wife, because she is. She's married to medicine. Bring her in. So, what else? Let me look at my notes. Um, so they end up going to another break, and they show, they bring the men in. So as they're backstage, Anila and Quad kind of make up, and they, Quad, she asked Quad, for a kiss, and she said Simone is the only one who kisses me on the lips and stuff like that. So it's just, I think they're going to be fine. I think it's just, they got caught up in this rumor thing. Now, is the rumor true or not? We don't know, but we all know what the rumor was, and please don't bring this into next season about the rumor unless y'all got some facts. So Andy ends up talking to the men, and they talk about the joke about the Saja Moving Company against what's his name, Dr. Eugene. So Dr. Eugene says he didn't feel it was funny, and he says if you are a friend, once I say it's not funny, it should be dead, and apologize and let's move forward. But Kieran was trying to, he wasn't trying to apologize. He was just like he thought it was funny, and it was Anila's, it was Anila's joke, and he just, agreed with it. And I think he said, I took it a step further and say, let's go in a moving truck. It was funny. And it's something that Toya and him have been plagued with throughout the time, their duration of Married to Medicine. They have moved. They moved out of their first house, said, because people were breaking into homes and stuff like that in Southwest Atlanta. So they moved into a big old rental. Like I think it was $10,000 a month to stay there. They got hit with the IRS debt, so they had to move to save some money. Then they built their dream home and stayed in there, and then they didn't like it no more for whatever reason. The dream home that they built, they didn't like no more, so now they are renting again. So it feels like y'all are trying to keep up with the Joneses. It feels like y'all are not the best at managing money. It feels like it's a lot. And I feel like it's just not Toya. I feel like Eugene takes some part in that as well. And you put it on the show. So once you put it on the show, you are opening yourself up for scrutiny. You're opening yourself up for people's opinions. And yes, Dr. Karen and Anila's joke was funny, but because you all didn't find it funny, maybe he should have apologized quicker. But it was funny, and the other guys thought it was too, and they chuckled until you got all upset and walked off and in your feelings. So take a joke, you put the joke out there, and people are going to joke about your finances. But I guess if you feel like they are a friend, and your feelings are hurt, then I guess I can see the point. I don't think I would do that to a friend, someone I consider a friend. But again, like I said, I don't take the word friend loosely. Like if you my friend, you my friend. So I don't just say friends if I don't feel like you're a friend. So are they friends? Are they really friends? If not, then I can see why the joke, he didn't see why he should apologize. So comment down below, what do y'all think? Do you think Dr. Kieran was wrong? Do you think he should apologize quicker? Are you think Dr. Eugene is being too sensitive? Comment down below, let me know what you think. So we are at the end of the reunion, part 2 of the reunion. So next week is going to get into it deeper. The men are going to be there with the women. Looks like Eugene and Quad are going to get into it. So it's more to come. And I'm going to have some opinions on that. So again, if you made it this far, go ahead and like if you haven't already. Don't forget to like the video, share the video with a friend, and also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified about all of my uploads. And I'm pretty sure if you made it this far, you've gone on and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead, subscribe. And I will see y'all on the next recap. I know I got to do Ready to Love, so that should be coming out very soon, so look out for that. See y'all when I see y'all. Peace.